And away
Craig!
we go.
Craig.
Cool.
Craig.
Yeah, when people were asking, like, are you going to go back to school? No. Absolutely not.
Leave me alone.
No, my mom is
No,
constantly like, have you thought about grad school? It's like, not a single fucking second. No, I have not.
No.
I thought about it when Marsh
Marsh
gave me a compliment on my paper.
Yeah.
Just, I can't. Also, I refuse to give any more of my money to another college. Like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I transferred in. I only did 2 years at Bradley, and I'm still like, no more money, please.
Please, I am already broke.
You have to tell the people working at the office that harass you for money after you graduate, like,
I've already
please
got
take me
emails.
off your list.
Just
I've
leave me
already
alone.
got emails.
See, I don't think I check my email. Maybe it all goes to spam. So maybe I'm lucky. But if I start getting calls, I'm gonna make it a very interesting day for whoever's working in that office, and basically be like, "Hey, like, I'm gonna be real with you, Chief. You're barking up the wrong tree, calling newly graduated seniors for money."
Let's be
Well,
honest.
it's like, didn't they send out that email for a grad school at graduation?
Yes,
Like, while
yes.
in the middle of the graduation, we're getting emails about, hey, the grad
Think about grad school.
application's still open.
We've postponed your deadline because you're a Bradley graduate, and we're like, we're literally getting our degree.
Leave me alone.
I'm fully convinced that, like, that deadline is not real.
It's not.
Like,
No
it's,
way.
it's just like, we've postponed it. It's like, no, the deadline has always been like this. It's just you keep moving it, like, theoretically. I think you
Like,
just lie.
Every time it's like, you postponed this 5 times already. What do you mean? What do you mean you postponed it? It's already been like 2 weeks since the deadline.
Not postponed.
Bradley's
It's not
deadlines are
postponed.
just. Bradley's
just
deadlines are
suggestions.
just
They're not
they're
actually
empty threats. Like, if especially because I did a year in Red's life, and I was like, I remember constantly they were like, okay, ARA applications are due this date, and then no one would sign up because it's Red's life and no one wants to do it. So you're like, all right, 2 weeks, but if they miss it, that's the final one. It's the final one, and then that would happen. They'd be like, all right, you got another week. And that's the last
You
extension.
pulled my leg. You pulled my
Last
leg.
extension. And then it's like we're in November and we're still waiting for applications. And it's like, yeah, no, fuck that. That's like it's not helpful at all when there's no structure. And they like it was annoying because they had us constantly annoy people to sign up for a program we know they didn't want to do.
Yeah.
And then they made it like our fault that we weren't pushing it enough. It's like,
They guilt tripped you into harassing people.
yeah, pretty much.
Just like gatekeep girl boss, as we say in the business.
That's
my
the
motivation.
YA code.
No, I literally tried to be, I think, an ARA like so many times. And I think I tried maybe 3 times. And I was like, if they don't want me 3 times, obviously they don't want me. I just wanted the cheap housing. And then literally when I had already decided not to go for it again, my like hall director was like, you know, they really liked you. They really liked you. You should try again. And I was like, obviously they did not. 3 times.
I gave it one attempt, and that was the semester where it was midway COVID. So I was just doing an interview, and I'm like, even during the interview, I'm like, I don't want to do this. This sounds like hell to me. So I'm not going to
I love
like put my full heart into it. I gave it
Yeah.
one attempt, and that was just to get my parents off my back.
Yeah, they do like that role play where you have to be like, oh, these roommates are having an issue. What would you do in this situation? And like, obviously, you don't have training or anything. You don't know what to do. So I just go, did you talk to each other? Well, maybe talk to each other.
The thing
Well,
is,
the thing
though,
is, that's
that
what they
is
do
exactly
anyway.
yeah, that's what they train you to do. That is literally like one of the first things they say is like with a roommate agreement. The first thing you got to tell them is, "Did you talk to your roommate about this?" Because a lot of people will not, and that's like the first step. Because it's not a roommate conflict if one person's upset. Like it has to be, these two have to be against each other. You can't like just want to leave because they make them uncomfortable.
Do you think
because
the
there's
Hispanics
not enough
roommate?
room.
Do you think the piss bandit's roommate went to this RA and they were like, did you talk to him about the
The
piss?
piss bandit didn't have a roommate, or the piss bandit wouldn't have existed.
I
Like-
forgot about that.
Yeah.
So piss bandit backstory. I think I was in Hollywood doing this, so I kind of only know
Yeah.
snippets. Like I just remember
I-
getting texts from people about this.
I was able to piece together the full story like through like res life because the poor RA that had to deal with that. But basically, what happened is it starts one night when these girls are like in their room in Williams, or not. Just maybe bleep that. I don't know, but
I mean, it's a building. It's not.
they notice like there's a liquid coming in from the hallway and it's yellow and it stinks, and they like come to the most logical conclusion is that like someone was drunk and like pissed in the hallway. That would be best case scenario, unfortunately.
That's simple.
So they call the RA,
course it
who then
wasn't
call
that,
the
though.
police. No, they walk out in the hallway and it's like a river of piss coming from this guy's from under this door, and so they call the police because I don't know who else do you call in this situation.
Just call your mom.
Ghostbusters.
Mom. And so they opened the door, and what it was this kid had been storing, like, he wouldn't go to the bathroom. He would instead just piss in like jars and bottles and 2-gallon Ziploc bags. And while he was at a frat party, because he was in a fraternity,
Of course.
he while he was gone, one of the Ziploc bags fell off his desk and exploded on the floor.
It was on the.
It was on his desk.
Yeah, well, I'm sure the closet got full after a couple months. Because
He's
it had
just
truly
living
been. This was in like March, and it had been since like the start of the semester that he had started doing this.
So I'm looking up the official police report. Go on.
I just gotta know. I remember like
Dang,
I,
your first episode. Oh my god.
yeah,
He's
well,
living in it.
Listen, what, like, okay, and then like after that, this is where a lot of the rumors come in. But like, so the police called him back to his room, and he was drunk from being at a party. I'm pretty sure he was at a party, and like they called him in, and they had him dispose of it because no one else is going to do it. and so he takes it and he starts pouring it into the bathroom sinks and the trash cans, not the toilets.
I didn't know this. I did not know this part. Oh,
So
Lord.
that is why the building started to reek of urine, was because I don't know if he was just dumb, drunk, or did it out of spite.
Was he just like unsupervised during all this?
I heard that he poured it
I don't
into
know.
the vents.
Yeah, see, I think-
air conditioning unit.
I think that is where it really goes into rumor point, because I don't think anyone is that fucking insane. Like that is a war crime, I'm pretty sure.
I also
Well,
heard that
if it
he
leaks
clogged
in
the
there-
sinks with it.
What?
How do you clog the sinks?
Oh,
piss.
yeah, it's not meant to go in a sink. Like,
Well, it's still like liquid though. Like,
So-
what part of that like clogged it?
See, I'm not an expert at pissing in sinks, so this is all foreign to me. I haven't experimented this
haven't
far.
either. But the thing is,
So-
you're like, it's months worth of piss. Like,
So it's like fermented.
it's just
Oh,
it's
I
It's like
Oh.
mustard gas.
it's that, and it's the sheer volume of it.
Can I read an excerpt of the police report that when
give
I
us a
read it-
dramatic
please.
reading, please.
Please.
So here's my favorite. excerpt is the liquid was discovered running under the door of another room onto a carpet. The girls in the affected dorm then notified the hall staff and then went into the room where the liquid was coming from. The staff went into the room. They found a garbage bag that was full of bottles with urine. Along with that bag, there were several others littered around the room. Piles of clothes and other items in the dorm were soaked with it. The student was called back to the room for questioning. This is my favorite. While he did not go into the reasoning behind the collection, he admitted it was a concern.
He was like, "Okay, guys, yeah,
Listen.
I admit, if I stopped like a month ago, if I started like throwing stuff away a month ago,
That's-
it would have been a problem."
That's
Listen,
my
you know,
I
favorite
understand it's
part of it.
problematic.
After the first garbage bag, I wasn't really that worried, but when I hit number 4, that's when I thought I had a problem.
That's what I really
That's what I
thought, that I
realized.
might have a
You're going to
problem.
why?
It's fine. I can stop anytime.
Listen,
I promise.
I'm going to therapy.
I can
listen.
stop anytime I want to. I just don't want to.
It's just that he admits, yeah, it's a concern. It's like, what,
It's not a
Okay,
problem because I
that is
have it all
okay.
figured out.
I
How does that
admit
make
it
me
kind of
feel better?
stank, but there's nothing technically illegal about that.
I love that he had to
I-
have an intervention with the police to get it through. It's like, yeah, this is no good.
I
This
hate to
this is
say anything like in the defense of the piss bandit, but you do go like smell blind in those fucking dorm rooms. Like after like 3 days, like you don't even notice the stench. But like
bad. Oh yeah.
But
When-
it's
when I had to-
multiple
when I
garbage
had to
bags.
clean out, the dorms after like all the breaks and stuff, I would go in and the absolute stench in every single one of those rooms that they had like people would have like some people would have Febreze and stuff or whatever, but then there'd be other dudes who like it's straight up like pits in there and
Yeah.
Oh my
and
God.
like never once used deodorant or like
Yep.
opened a window.
My
just
windows didn't
absolute
open.
miserable.
in my room, so I was kind of stuck. Nope.
Yeah.
No.
Mm-mm.
And it wasn't even like the window was stuck or it was like broken or something. It was like bolted shut.
you were in the singles, weren't? Oh, you were on the
Yeah.
ground floor. Okay.
Yeah, I was on the ground floor,
Or
but
sub
still,
half
Oh.
sub ground floor because
Yeah.
it's the singles. And
where
you're,
my
like,
my
literally in the
window is
hallway.
at like ankle level right here.
Mm,
Yeah.
makes
You know,
sense.
I was on the third floor of Elmwood, which is also singles, and the heating and air conditioning unit sucked. Like it was
Oh my
bad.
God, they were so bad. My AC did not work like a month. No, not a month. Like 2 weeks into spring semester, so it only blew hot air no matter what. And I called the maintenance like every day, and I was like, "Hey, it is literally 80 degrees in my room. Please fix it." And then like I'm like at class or I don't remember where it was, and I came back and I literally just like stopped in my tracks when I got in because I was like, "It's cold." and then it was fine.
The absolute biggest lie I've ever experienced in college is living in Geisert and having the adjustable furnace. It is a fucking scam.
Mm-hmm.
It does not work because heating and AC is run. That's not decided by room because college students don't have free will. So instead, it is decided like by building. So maintenance has to switch it, which is often like marked as an unimportant fix, so it gets pushed back a few weeks. So it'll be January or Feb. No, well, usually by winter they fix it, but like say like December and it's negative 3 degrees out, and you go into your room and it's blasting AC. You can control
fine, buddy.
how much AC it's blasting in December, but you can't turn it off or tell it to go warm or do any of the functions it's supposed to on the.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Wyckoff was like that. In
Yeah.
my first year, I was like asking my RAs, like, "Hey, like, can the building suite like please switch back to air conditioning because it's getting hot as balls, and like the furnace just like sucks, and you don't have the option to. And he's like, oh, you have to email this guy. I think his like name was like Thomas, or last name Thomas or whatever. He's like, you have to email some guy like that's the higher up. And I'm like, why don't you talk to him? Like, what do you do?
It's
like,
not your job.
Yeah, no.
It's like, you're an RA. Like why don't you talk to him?
Yeah, I'm your
He
resident. Like,
definitely misunderstood what he was supposed to do. He was supposed to email that guy.
Yeah,
he was like, I'll just give you the information. I'm too lazy to type out these 3 sentences.
My
Just
sophomore
gonna
year, I had the
delegate
worst.
my job to you.
My sophomore year, I had the worst roommate. It was just some rando frat guy that was
Ugh.
like that I got stuck
You know,
with,
brother.
and it was yeah, he was in Sig Chi, so it was he was pretty quiet and didn't like talk to me. All of his friends were super nice to me, but yeah, no, he brought over girls like a bunch of times without telling me. He only told me once ahead of time and like asked if it was okay. And that's because I was like, hey, dude, you need to tell me or else I'm going to have to go to like the RA, because like that's kind of in our roommate agreement. Like, I don't want to be a pain in the ass, but like you have to tell me, like that's in the agreement. And when I told my RAs, they were like, oh, did you talk to your roommate about it? And it's like, yeah, and he gave me kind of a vague response, and I'm a little sick of it. But like, you know, the fact that I had to sleep in the game room, and then I was kicked out of the game room because I can't sleep in there, so I like literally just had to crash in somebody else's place or like sleep in my car. I'm like, I don't know. I'm hate to. I mean, Ryan, I know you're an RA, but it felt like at that moment, RAs, all they just do is like try to avoid their own work and just try to like leave it off to like the students. And it felt, my RAs freshman year were great. My RAs sophomore year left something to be desired.
There are definitely a ton of RAs who do that. And I don't know how they get hired or stay on the job, but they fly under the radar enough to like get away with it.
Yeah.
My
Welcome
biggest
to Bradley.
My biggest fault as an RA was I was just never there because I was always in the GCC working or out in a class or out doing homework or then out with friends. And I didn't spend a lot of time in my dorm as an RA.
Yeah, I don't know. I had an okay relationship with
Not
my
to
RAs.
interrupt, but it is like pouring rain right now.
Where are you at?
It's clear where I am.
Yeah, where are you at? Because it is.
Yeah, what's your home
a beautiful
address,
day
Mark?
here.
Yeah, let's dox you real
Yeah.
quick, please.
See, it'd be a funny bit if I go, you know, like, here's my address, and then like I just bleep everything, so it sounds like I'm actually giving it. That would be a good bit. Editor Mark, get on that.
Yeah,
Well, like,
make it happen. Make it happen.
Yeah, no.
It's
No.
all
and then,
information,
just-
IP address.
Mm-mm.
Or
Yeah, what's your
have
social
subtitles
security
for
number
the-
and your mother's maiden name and the
Those was-
16 wacky digits on your credit card? And
Did you guys
3
learn
wacky
forget the
digits
three
on
funny
the-
numbers
in
on
comm
the back.
classes? Did we learn nothing in comm classes? What's some media literacy, bro?
Yeah.
Oh, bro.
No, I didn't. That's why we're doing a podcast instead of having real jobs.
Yeah.
Speaking
I
of real
don't-
jobs, I am going to
Ah.
forcibly remove the segue, and I am going to tell you guys my
You know-
story.
No, yeah, you're gonna force
The
us
segue.
into talking about what this podcast
Force
is
it.
about. Okay, how dare?
Okay, Mark.
How did he go back to the agenda? Who do you think he are?
It's not like we had planned to talk about
Why do,
this.
why do you think you control the media?
I was like, you think we had a plan for this? There's no plan. It's chaos.
No. We're talking about RAs this whole time. This whole podcast is about RAs now.
about res life.
We make the
With only
rules.
one person that's ever been in Res Life. That's a reference.
Yeah, everyone's been rejected.
And I
as
was
an
only
RA.
in
We
it
have
for
one
one
RA.
year.
Okay, but Mark, what do you want us to?
Yeah.
What do you want to tell us?
So, as a good little college graduate, once I got back home, I booted up my LinkedIn profile. I booted up ZipRecruiter. I booted up Indeed, and I was hunting, right? So I put out like 15, 20 applications or something, and I get one response. And this one response is from an IT company based out of Ohio. And they're like, hey, we want to hire you to do some video editing work for us, like fully remote, all of this. And I'm like, okay, I'm with you so far. And then they tell me like, yeah, you're it's going to be fully remote. You can choose your own hours. We'll provide you with the computer and a printer and all the software that you would need. And we'll pay you $60 an hour, like 60. So I'm like,
Make that money.
relax. I email the guy back like right away, and I'm like, yeah, I'm down. So then we get to talking. Red flag number 1, he's being very cagey about my actual like job description. I have to talk to him like a few times before he like actually sends me, what I'm going to be doing. And he's like, yeah, you're going to be given all this raw footage, with like, green screen stuff and cameras and dialogue and voiceovers. And then you're going to have to put that together for a broadcast. And I'm like, what kind of broadcast? But that sounds great. But what kind of broadcast? He didn't tell me, whatever. Red flag number 2. He goes, we will send you a check to purchase all of your office supplies through our accredited vendor. And I'm like, that's weird, but wouldn't you just like give that to me? And he's like, nah, it's fine. Okay, whatever. Red flag number 3, the check comes in. Keep in mind, this is a IT company based out of Ohio. The check comes from the Center for Orthopedics and Spine Institute of Louisiana. And at this point, I'm like,
very not a scam.
yeah.
Seems legit.
So I talked to the guy, and I'm like, what is going on? And he gives me something about, oh, there are business partners, and I forwarded you the check, and it's all fine and whatever. Here's where I should have stopped, right? But I'm like, there's the 1% chance that this is not a scam, right?
I mean, hey, $60 an hour is on the line.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
I
you could give that
A
up.
lot of cash.
My eyes are popping out of my head, cartoon
It's either
style.
15 or 60.
So I'm like, sure. Let's, maybe it's still legit. So my parents moved like most of my money out of my accounts, because this is probably a scam, just in case. And I deposit the check. Now, this check is $5,000, which again, red flag number 4. That's a lot for
There's
a
4 red
computer.
flags, Mark.
Listen, I haven't even got to the best part yet.
There's more.
I'm like, $5,000 is kind of a highball number for the stuff that you say that you're going to be giving me, but whatever. And now the check clears. It's good money. It goes into my account, and the dude contacts me, and he's like, "All right, time to make the payment for your office supplies." And I go, "Sweet. Where's the Amazon thing? Where's your vendor? Give me this." Red flag number 5. Yeah, we'll take the payment through Cash App or Zelle. I'm like, okay. That 1%, this is not a scam
Gone.
in the back of my head. Gone. This
Out
is
the
a money
door.
laundering scheme. This is something.
Oh.
I'm like, okay, dude, get out of here. So I called him out. And
Did you get to keep the 5,000?
No.
No.
That's the worst part. I didn't even get to keep the 5,000 because they put a stop on the check. I went to the bank. I was like, "Hey, I think this is fraud." They took care of it. It's not my fault. Whatever. So now I'm back to square one looking for jobs.
It goes back 0.
What a saga.
Right?
Okay, but is that like weirdest way to get someone like job offer? Like, and always, I think they've gone through all of the old people that will like be on the phone, but oh, you want $5,000? Okay, they've
Right.
gone through all
And
of
this
them.
this was
They've
like
they've
a
gone through all of them.
4-day exchange that I had with the guy.
Yeah. Like they
It's
like,
literally are
it's
going
a
through
lot of
so much
effort.
effort. Yeah, like usually it's like a 1 day thing, but now it's like they're gonna literally do a whole week with you just so you can clear $5,000.
And then I
That's
was
how they
like,
get you.
and I was talking with it at my coworkers because I work at a pizza place just for the summer. And they were like, yeah, what they do is once you send that 5,000 through Cash App or Zelle, then they wire the bank and they're like, hey, I didn't mean to send this guy 5K. Can you give it to me back? And then they deduct that 5K from my account.
So now you're out.
Now I'm
5K.
out.
Now you're out
Right.
5.
Yeah. Yep.
Good
That's exactly how it happens.
But
Good
thankfully, he didn't
Lord.
get my social security or my bank account information or any of that. He just has my like ID. So
It's that
I mean-
$60 that gets you.
mhm.
They throw out those fun, happy numbers, and it's like,
And everything
all
else.
right.
And then
You
like
know,
once
fresh
he
college
finally
grad.
gave me the job description, I was like, this is perfect. This is what I do.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be fully remote. I can choose my own hours. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it sounded good, too good to be true, and then it turned out it was.
Man.
Yeah, let's get F's in the chat.
Oh, and the
Yeah,
actual
let's have
best
that
part,
in the chat.
the actual best part is I reported, or like I sent an email to the company like contact line. I was like, hey, this guy's trying to scam me using your name, just so you're aware. And they never replied to me, which makes me think the whole
They don't
company
care.
is bogus.
They're in cahoots.
That's
whole
that's so weird.
Bogus.
That is so weird though. Ew. We're not conspiracy theorists. However, this IT company
They're in
Maybe a
cahoots.
front.
Pussy.
maybe
Yeah.
a front for
Deep
something.
state.
We're just reporting the facts, okay? We went through journalism classes.
We
These
have
are
a
facts.
journalism major in here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we know that news
Uh,
is media.
We're making our
Medium is the message.
The,
whoa,
media
the
is message,
transactional
and
model of
something metaphor.
communications.
Thanks, PG.
You know, we
cognitive
code
dissonance.
a message. Yeah, we code a message, and then the receiver decodes that message. So
Is right
we
here
don't
and amusing
know.
ourselves to death.
Oh my gosh.
I gave all my
Oh, I
books back.
can't.
I was
I
yeah.
so
never
yeah.
bought
That's
the
been
book.
that's been the highlights of my job searching post college. Everything else has just been rejection. So
Jeez.
So for me, I worked with this company last summer, and they were super nice. The reason I got hired was our professor was contacted by a Bradley grad, and so he was like, "Yeah, we're looking for someone remote." And so our professor sent it to me, and I was like, "Okay, on that." So I worked for them last summer, and then they gave me like their whole a whole new email account through their system, right? I felt so bad because apparently after I finished, they all sent me like an email being like, "Thanks so much, like we loved you, blah blah blah." But I had already like logged out of the email, so I wasn't reading any of it. So I felt really bad. And at one point, I found out like I saved the password on Safari, and I was like, "Oh, let me just check this email." Blah blah blah. And I looked, and I saw all of the thank you emails from like a year ago, and I was like, apologies. And I felt so bad. I texted my friend, I said, I feel so bad about this. Like, I feel like such an asshole. And then literally 5 days later, I get an email saying, "Do you want that job back?" And I was like, I literally ignored all of your thank you emails, and you don't care. Yes. I will accept that job back. Thank you very much. And it is just editing videos this summer, which is fine. Like, I don't want to be an editor full time. Like, full on. I do not enjoy it. But, you know, we all gotta have that summer job because this job market.
Yeah, a
Ain't
little
looking
bit of
so
summer
hot.
income's nice.
Yep. And I like texted my old bosses that I hadn't gone back last year, but I worked 5 years at an ice cream shop, and I texted them. I was like, "Yo, you need any shifts covered, please?" And so I literally have like 3 shifts this month. I was like, "I'll take it. I'll take it." Broke.
Every break between semesters, I have worked at the Hot Topic that I got fired from in high school, just because they like me and they always need help. And so I haven't been back yet, but like I have like in my email like the new hired paperwork, and I just have to fill out all the information. And it's just because the store manager liked me so much. I was, I guess, his favorite employee, which was like an honor because I was hardly ever there. Like they
That's probably why
recently
he liked you. You didn't have enough time to piss him off.
yeah. And then I also, I at least like knew what he was talking about half the time because he was very much like a 90s punk guy. Like he used to be in a punk band and used to be a tattoo artist, and and we have the same stupid sense of humor. And so yeah, it was just it's a lot of fun. It's more like just going to hang out rather than like actually work. But then again, the pay is $7.25 an hour, and I get like 3 shifts a month. So
Hey,
it's not
something's
a great
better
job,
than
but
nothing.
That's
it's
true.
like,
That's true.
it's nice little like spending money.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very lucky. The pizza place I work at is 14 an hour.
That's good.
You got
It's-
14 an hour at your pizza place?
Yeah.
Are you delivery or what? Are you just
No.
in-house?
Completely in-house. We don't even take phone orders. It's only like order through the app and then walk-ins.
All right. I was a pizza delivery boy at the pizza place right around the corner from my house. I was promised 18 an hour as a delivery guy. I got $8.25 in store. I got $6.25 on the road plus tips.
Hey, if you add those together, that's 18.
Bullshit it is. Because they don't care around here. Yeah,
What
I'm
is-
getting I'm getting 18 out of the $3 tip the crackheads give me. No. And we had Mark, you've pissed
I mean,
me off.
To be fair,
It's also a chain. It's a I don't want to dox myself, but it's a chain of personalized pizzas. So think like Subway, but a pizza place.
Oh no, I worked at Marco's. Fuck that company.
Oh.
Marco's.
Oh, name drop this
Yeah.
one.
Yeah,
Please
I'm
don't
name
opt
dropping.
out of the
No,
family
fuck
video.
Marco's.
Yeah, and the thing is, it was right
There's your
next to
first
a
mistake.
family video. It was right next to a family video,
Yeah.
and then right next to the register, they had a little delivery window that went into the family video. So you would have people that would go into family video, come order a pizza, walk around the family video for like 15, 20 minutes, and then come back whenever their pizza was done and picked it up there. That was our drive-through window.
Man.
We had phone calls. We had the whole shebang. It sucked.
I couldn't.
Sucked.
I learned very
Yeah.
quickly I'm not a food service person.
Oh,
I didn't
it's-
want to go into
Oh,
food
it's
service.
the worst.
I worked at
literally-
Wendy's for 2 weeks before quitting.
It was
This like ice cream shop. Okay, to be fair, my town is like absolutely super small. Like it is just farmers, right? Like my graduating class was 40 people, and we were the largest class for like years. So like, there's no one in this town. So it's the ice cream shop, 2 gas stations because we're right on the lake, and then we have Dollar General. We used to have a Subway, that's closed, and then like a Mexican restaurant. So we're like one of the only food options. We're the only dessert option in town, like for 30 minutes, right? And so we're busy like all the time, especially if it's summer. T-ball's right down the street. Like school just got out, whatever. We get paid less than minimum wage. This would be my 6th summer. I get paid $10.25. I'm pretty sure girls probably get paid like $9.25 when minimum wage is $11.25 in Missouri. It's great.
Horrendous.
They don't care. And then technically, we don't get tips because at the end of the year, we split the tips on a girls' trip. So
Aw.
it doesn't even make up. Yeah, and then they'll let us take some cash. Last year or I guess the last year I worked because it was COVID. They didn't do a trip, and so we got to split tips based on hours you worked that summer.
No.
But yeah, I don't know. Like I absolutely love the people that I work for, but sometimes I'm just like, this is not a smart business model, and they keep losing girls. They will like just quit all the time because they get paid more down the street. So why wouldn't you go to work somewhere else?
Yeah.
Yeah. I currently work for a radio station. I'm not going to dox myself too much, but well, I guess
Ooh, you got
I
a
guess
fancy job.
well, I had an internship there at school. So actually, we've already said Bradley. So yeah, it's that radio
Yeah.
station. And I currently work part time. I had an interview on Wednesday for a full time job. Hopefully, this is being recorded on a Friday. Editor's note. Anyway, but yeah, I had an interview, but even if that doesn't go through, I'm probably just gonna work part time at a library as like a janitor, just because it's like early mornings and it's perfect because it just works with my schedule. And plus, I don't mind public libraries. It's a small little library, so I probably wouldn't be doing much. But yeah, hopefully,
I don't think there's a
hopefully,
piss
we get the
bandit
real
at your
job.
library.
You know, like the real
Yeah, there's not gonna be a
God.
piss bandit. Okay, to be fair, freshman year I had what we called a poop bandit, which was a girl who never flushed, and I thought that would have been the extent of how nasty it would have been. And then, of course, senior year, they had to top it. Literally, like, people are calling me. I'm in California, and people are calling me, like, did you hear what just happened? And I'm like, no. Why would I know that? Also, gross.
So in in Wyckoff, my second year, I had the so we had people that in the group chat, they would just send pictures of the urinal if people didn't flush. And the RAs had to say, stop sending pictures of the urinal. It's gross. No one wants to see it. Just flush. Just make a conscious effort to flush. And then there was one day where someone just left a piece of bread in the shower stall. And then there was another day where somebody literally chopped the toilet seat. So it was literally just splintered. Like one of the rungs was like splintered off. I don't know. Oh, Ryan, the one story from like 3 a.m.
Which one?
The pounding on the door one.
Oh, I'm having a total brain fart right now. I'm sorry.
The one where you were trapped outside of Wyckoff.
Oh, yeah.
So
Oh.
can I introduce this as
Totally.
So my second year, this story came full circle to me a few months ago talking to Ryan. So like it took 2 years for it to just like loop around and it's like, oh, that's who it was. Anyway, what had happened was I think it was around like 3 in the morning. We start hearing pounding on like the metal door outside one of the dorm floors, and it's in the stairwell, and it's in the stairwell near my room. All of our floor in the group chat was going wild, like, yo, who is that? Like, he needs to stop. He is making a lot of noise. And he just keeps like pounding, like it sounded like he was almost kicking the door was the thought. And a lot of people were like, we're about to go and beat this kid up or something. Like a lot of people were like very furious. And someone went out and like said like, yo, you need to stop. I heard like the conversation happening, and then like I hear someone scream loudly, like just scream fuck loudly in like the stairwell, and I'm like, oh, somebody's having a bad night. Later, I tell this story to Ryan, and he's like, "Oh, that's me," and I'm like, "Oh, I'm glad that came back around."
So, my girlfriend lived in Wyckoff, and I have a bone to pick with Wyckoff. Okay, the stairwell. Once you're in it, you need to use your key to get onto each floor.
Mm-hmm.
So I go to the bathroom late at night, and because I'm at my girlfriend's dorm. I have to go down a floor to a boys' floor to use the bathroom. I have really bad ADHD and left the key in the bathroom.
Oh.
So I go into the stairwell. I'm like, oh shit, and then I go down. I'm like, oh shit, and I end up getting locked in there. I think I was in there for like total, I want to say close to an hour. And I knew it was late, and I knew pounding on the door and screaming would not make people happy. But it was either piss people off for like a little bit, or be stuck there till 6 a.m. when someone comes out to go to class. I'd rather piss someone off. Sorry. So
that's
and, like,
calculated decision.
and like so yeah. So I started. I was pounding on Holden's floor because that's where the key was. And as soon as they opened it, I was like, "Hey, I'm so sorry. I just got locked in there." And like you'd think. Like hearing it from Holden's perspective, if everyone wanted to beat my ass, fair. But you'd think living in Wyckoff, where you know that situation is entirely possible, why is someone pounding in the stairwell? Why the fuck do you think I'm stuck? Please come help me. It should not have taken 45 minutes of kicking the door for someone to come and help me. I like.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry. I know I made a mistake, but like, come on, give me a hand here.
Oh yeah, no, I was like, I feel bad for that guy, but like, I don't know what floor, and I was also like scared. Like, I think a lot of people were also scared because they thought like somebody was trying to like break in, maybe. But
I
like,
was screaming help. Like,
Somebody help me, please. Help. I'm gonna beat the shit out of
That's
this
a bad guy.
I'm gonna beat the fuck out of him.
this guy needs help. Fucking
This guy crying for help, he's gonna get his teeth knocked in.
I was just like, I was just half
Fuck that
awake, and I'm
dude.
like, I do not want to get out of bed because I don't want to deal with this guy. Like, you know, I'm just gonna sit here
Oh
and
my
just wait for it to
God.
stop. It's the bystander effect, and I'm so
worse.
sorry.
even worse, I left my phone in my girlfriend's room, so like, I didn't have that either. Yeah, I was just stranded, and I was like, "Oh, it's like a moment where like I have to pull a dick move." I'm sorry, but like,
I had a
It was entertaining to me.
Actually,
In one way.
it was quite funny.
I like because I remember when I finally got out, like I just like went up to my girlfriend's room and like had a panic attack, obviously. But then like, uh, like after like a month or so, I completely forgot about it until Holden brought it up again.
I'm
Just giving
sorry.
him nom flashbacks.
Yeah.
I had a buddy freshman year. So I was in U-Haul my freshman year. And I moved in with a buddy from my hometown, so we were roommates. And so we're there like first couple months getting to know each other. We end up getting into like a group of like 7 people total. We're all real close friends. Everybody's all living on that floor. So out of the 7, 6 of the guys all rushed for the same fraternity. And then there was the one who didn't, and that was me. I wasn't a frat guy. So I was the odd man out. So there were a lot of times that I'd be in the room while they were all out doing fraternity things as you do. And so one night I'm in my room, I think it was like playoff baseball. I'm watching like a Dodgers game. So I'm sitting there on the couch, and then the room right next to us was one of our buddies. So I'm sitting there, and then I just hear like somebody dry heaving their guts out. Like it sounded horrific. It was like, all right. As I heard it the first time, it's like, okay. It was poor guy. And then it stopped, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna continue. So then I'm still going, and then I hear it again. It's like, okay. So then I pause it, and I just like listen to make sure I'm hearing what I'm hearing. And then it's like, it is the worst one yet. It sounded, like if you heard this out in the woods, you would run. Like, it was horrific. So I walked over, I knocked on his door, and then he comes out, doesn't have a shirt on. He's in khaki shorts and barefoot. And he usually wears glasses, they're off. His entire body is pale white. It's like, dude, are you good? He's like, yeah, I'm fine. I drank a little bit too much. If you need, just try not to listen. I appreciate you. It's like, all right, buddy. If you need anything, you let me know. I'm the next room over. I'll help you out. Whatever. Just let me know later. So I'm in the room, and then I don't hear heaving for a little bit, and then there's a knock on my door. So I go out and I see who it is, and it was him. He's like, hand like on the frame. He's like, you need to call BUPD. You need to call 911. It's like, are you good? What's going on? He's like, I think I have alcohol poisoning. I'm gonna die. It's like, all right, you're not. Let's calm down. So I walked him in. I like hand over my shoulder. I walked him into the bathroom. I get him in a stall, and he's like completely throwing his guts out. He's like in between. He's like, call someone. And then I was like, all right, I haven't been in this situation before, so I called BUPD. It's like, hey, I've got my friend drank too much, and he's currently throwing up like a lot, and he's not looking good. Is there something we can do? He's like, yeah, her up. So I'm standing outside of the bathroom. He's in the bathroom just unleashing hell. And so the officers finally show up. They go in and talk. So they're sitting with him. And then an ambulance comes, and they bring a stretcher up the stairs. So then there's a stretcher.
Hall was this?
It was in U-Haul.
I remember
Did you see him?
I remember the stretcher.
They brought the stretcher up the stairs. They set it up. They put him in the stretcher. He's sitting in it. And he's like having a fun time. He's laughing about it. And then they bring him all the way down. And then he's just gone.
What floor?
And
what floor?
Return.
It was 2B.
2B. Okay, so I was 3B. So I was like right above this. And I was like,
okay.
I remember trying to go back to my dorm, and I was like, what the hell's happening? And I'm seeing a guy on a stretcher, and I'm just like,
yeah. No, that was
like,
my buddy.
Like, U-Haul is
it's a small
like,
world.
U-Haul is fully like a freshman dorm. And so like,
yeah.
Me and my freshman mind, because neither me or my roommate went out for any sort of Greek life, we were like, what could have happened? Like, what? They must have had a medical emergency. No, a guy got drunk.
Yeah, he got belligerent. He was like, his room smelled like death. His room was one of the worst smells you could possibly imagine. It smelled like not living anymore. So he got taken out, and then my RA comes up to me. He's like, "So you wanna talk about what just happened?" He's like,
"Not really."
Not really. No. He's like,
I'm good.
He got drunk. I called BUPD. There we go. Enough said. He's like, all right.
You were the responsible person.
Yeah, I was. I was sober as can be, watching baseball. and then he ended up having to have like a meeting with the board director, the RAs, and then he got like a big boy strike because like you're not supposed to be drinking. His underage drinking, and he was gone. But,
dude.
Yeah.
He's totally tanked.
Circling back to Stank. No, go ahead.
Oh my gosh.
He was an unfortunate being. He did not have a good time. He also fell off his bed in U-Haul up all the way up. So for other context, if anybody hasn't been in one of these dorms, it's, what would you say the beds are like 4.5, 5 feet off the ground? Like wooden beds,
it's
is it higher than that?
I think it's 5 at least, because it's like only a small
loft bed.
Well, because it's only a small amount that I had to bend down to like fit under the bed. So I think it's at least 5.
And it went to my forehead.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like at least 5 or something.
So upwards in the 5 feet and longer distance. So these beds are lofted up there, and so you get used to the sleeping patterns. I know personally, I had to sleep one way because I would roll in my sleep. So
Uh-huh.
instinctually, I know, all right, sleeping on this side, I'm gonna end up rolling this way. We'll be fine. One afternoon, he comes back from class. He's tired, so their room was like the kind of party room everybody would gather in. So they had like tables set up. We would play poker in there, so on. So he's up taking a nap, and for whatever reason, he decides to flip how he sleeps. So instead of like his head like at the farther end, he flips and his head's on the other end where his feet would normally be.
Oh,
Weird
no.
decision,
Yeah,
but he did it.
immediately.
So then, in his words, he rolled, fell off his bed, landed back first onto one of those fold-out metal tables, hit the ground, bounced off the ground, and landed on the futon they had. He said he woke up and he had no idea what had just happened.
His body
Imagine
went through a Rube Goldberg.
Stay asleep.
Yeah, no, it was one of those things like you have those dreams where like you just fall and then you wake up, you like jolt yourself awake. He fell. He fell off of his bed onto it, at least a 3-foot drop. Bang, another 3 feet off the table onto the ground, bounces onto the futon. And like it messed him up bad. He's got like I forget what it did. It like messed up his spine bad. And he's an unfortunate guy. He's had a lot of injuries, a lot of unfortunate times. He was a fun guy, but man, he got it rough bad.
To this day, I have only slept in my dorm beds maybe 3 times because of that. I don't want to fall.
Yeah,
because
that's a fear
I
everybody
so
has.
violently in my sleep. I have slept on my futon almost every night that I've been at college because it was more comfortable and I didn't have the worry of like falling off of it and falling and hitting my head open. Like,
Yeah.
I know it's such an absurd thing to be scared about, but it was always to the point where like I'm just more comfortable on the futon I spent $100 on. So like fuck it.
When I spent half a semester in Williams, those beds were like metal, like they were like pipe metal that's welded together, and it's like creaky. Like if you move an inch, it's just the whole bed frame just creaks. And that's like I think that's like 10 feet off the ground or something, or that it feels like that or something.
Apparently they're like higher than like prison regulations. Like prison beds aren't allowed to be as high as the beds in Williams are.
and like I don't know how I managed to go a whole semester without falling off. I mean, the guardrail, I just slept so close to the wall, I guess, most of the time, and I just tried to like. That's when I started sleeping on my back, and like, because I was like, if I toss and turn or if I sleep on my side, I'm going off. So I have to like make sure every night it was tough for me to fall asleep just because I had the fear in my head, like if I fall off, I'm gonna bust my chin up or something. Like I might end up in a wheelchair or something. That was like the fear in my head. I hated those beds.
Yeah,
and then I switched to Elmwood, and I was just in a box.
For our orientation, they made us sleep in Williams, and the entire orientation, the person they assigned me to a room with was a 21-year-old, and he would be in bed by like 9:30.
What a boomer.
Yeah. So I didn't want to wake him
Grandpa.
up when I came in at like 11:30 or 12. So I would sleep on the couches in the Williams lounges like for orientation.
Oh,
And like
Not-
it was more comfortable than those beds would be.
oh yeah. No, I got paired with
Sure.
with a guy who looked like he was like maybe 4'11". He was the nicest guy. He was. I won't say his name, but he was one of the most. You would know if you saw him. He was one of the coolest guys. We ended up watching like, what did we watch? We watched We watched like 3 episodes of Supernatural like in the middle of the night. He was the coolest guy.
I remember at orientation, I stayed up till 4 a.m. just talking about movies with this one guy.
Bro.
You guys slept over at orientation? Mine was like 6 hours. I just
Oh, well,
drove there, did my thing, and drove home.
I was an out-of-stater, so I got to go the night before orientation started, but mine was 3 days. So, like, I got to go,
Yeah, mine was
out
3
of
days.
states.
Yeah, mine was
And
like a
then,
week.
but my roommate didn't even stay with me most of the time because her boyfriend lived in Peoria, so she just, like, left, and I was like, whatever. So I stayed up, like, until 3 a.m. that last night, and that was probably a bad decision. But I did find my, like, best friend from orientation.
We apologize. We seem to be facing technical difficulties. We'll be back soon after this short commercial break.
Looking for something sweet to drink without the artificial flavors and colors? How about something refreshing instead of the soda that usually keeps you going? Try Arizona Fruit Punch, a fresh take on a classic drink. Arizona Fruit Punch packs a blast of real and fresh fruit flavors, and fortified with vitamin C for that real citrus taste. Arizona Fruit Punch is made from a special blend of fruit juices. No artificial flavors, no artificial colors, and no preservatives. Arizona Fruit Punch, 99 cents at your local grocery or convenience store. Welcome back to C's Got Degrees. We had to take a short break because of technical difficulties regarding our recording bot, Craig. So,
Everybody say hi,
Craig.
Craig.
you know what? I want to start.
Hi, Greg.
I want to start a running gag where we all just, insult Craig.
Shut up,
Craig's
Craig.
an absolute idiot.
Don't you ever, come
Craig,
after
you're
Craig.
you're a stinker, Craig.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
You have to hold me.
So yeah, now we're back.
We're good.
And Robyn can lead us off with our next
gimmick. Let me go
Or,
ahead.
I don't know. Yeah, this is a gimmick.
Yeah.
But it's a fun gimmick. I don't want to insult it. Anyway,
How
yeah, go
dare
ahead.
you.
Sorry.
It's a bit.
You're going
Let me
after Craig. You're
go
going after
live.
Will. What are you doing?
Yeah. We are going to our fun segment. It's called Wheel of Topics, and all of our names are on here. And so each time we do a podcast, we're going to spin it, and whoever it lands on gets to choose our, ending topic. So, let's see who goes first.
No whammy, no whammy.
No
Come
whammies.
on.
This is
Come
a big,
on,
big moment.
baby, I
Big
have
moment.
a game. Come on.
You have to hit the wheel again to
lagging
stop it.
so.
We
Wait, I have to stop it?
Prize
No,
You have
it's
to stop
slowing.
it?
It's slowing. It's
No,
slowing.
Okay.
Come on.
It just
come
doesn't
on,
stop.
Come on.
It's me. Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Ah.
It's the wheel
Boom.
of prizes.
Haha.
Go to North Korea.
I'm gonna stop that so I stop lagging. Okay. I've been wanting to say this one. So, have we all watched Stranger Things in here? At least.
No, not the fourth season.
Okay, but to be fair, this has been all over TikTok, so it's kind of out there. What is your song? What song would save you? And it has
Never
to
Gonna
be...
Give You Up, of course.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Wait, actually,
Yeah, what
when
song?
did Never Gonna Give
Can
You
I have some
Up?
context as to what
Okay.
the song's mean?
So
Does it have to be an 80s song?
I
No,
can't
no,
do
it's-
Never
it's
Gonna
our
Give
song.
You Up. That's from
No, they-
87.
Yeah.
No, but it's it doesn't have to be in the 80s. The point of 87?
The fight of 87.
Okay,
is just
so-
the Rickroll.
So in Stranger Things, it's I don't know, second, third episode, it's really early on, but you find out that your favorite song can at least postpone your death, right?
From the villain.
Okay?
Oh.
The villain will can't harm you if you hear your favorite song. And so
Or,
it doesn't have to be 80s.
Interesting.
It's our favorite song. So
Oh, okay.
It,
I'm going-
weakens
Gotcha.
his
what
effect.
song do you know word for word that could just wake you out of a trance? And I'm going-
Smash Mouth All Star. Without a doubt. I used to sing that
hands down.
whenever I was shooting trap in high school. There was a trap shooting team, and so whenever they shoot
Mhm.
the orange pigeons and you shoot them with a shotgun, that was an actual team for my school. So whenever I would go up, yeah, they had a team.
So it's
Oh,
just
I was
forgot.
on-
Your
I was
walk-up
on trap
music to
shooting.
skeet shooting.
Oh, were you
was-
really?
Yeah. No, I never went up. Was it the 12 gauge is the harder one, right? I never went up. I stayed with the 20.
Yeah.
Which was really weak. But I was okay. When I shot them, I was dead on. But when I missed them, it was bad.
It was pretty ugly. I understand that.
But I made a deal in high school that if I got at least like 60 out of 100 at this competition, that I would get tickets to a One Republic concert. So, to be fair, like, I think my song leading into this, because it's ingrained in me, there's actually two options. It's either Apologize by One Republic or Don't Trust Me by 303. Hands down. Like, I think those two songs have sent me out of a trance. Like, 100%. Like, awakened.
Oh, damn. No, whatever I shot trap, I would sing Smash Mouth to myself.
Oh my god.
It's like, I'd shoot my round, and then I'm just sitting there. It's like, just, hey now, you're an all-star. And then it would be my turn. Pull. And the game on. Go. Play. Pull.
Did you like sync up your shots to the beats?
Yeah, I tried to.
I hate you sometimes.
Listen, I shot an 87 at state, singing Smash Mouth for probably 2 hours.
Wow. I was horrible.
So I was.
Was it just All Star on loop?
Oh yeah, no, it was just All Star on loop.
Oh my god.
Like
that song's only good as a meme.
Exactly. Hey,
One of my
got me
buddies
that
was
good.
listening to not All Star, but that album that All Star is off of when he got into a car accident. So now he can never listen to Smash Mouth ever again.
When I was in a car accident, it was Country Girl Shake That For Me. So could you imagine jumping a ditch? It's icy and you just hear Country Girl Shake That For Me.
My God.
Oh god.
I can't.
I think there's so many good songs. Jump by Van Halen is one that I really like, but I would honestly have to go with Baba O'Reilly by The Who. Just because, like, there's a clip of the Joe Pera Talks to You, which is like this Adult Swim show, and he's just like this kind of old guy, and he's like this like teacher, and he just like hears it on the radio one day, and he's like, this is the best song ever. So he calls up every radio station in the area just to play it over and over again. And it's like that whole clip of the show is what it feels like to listen to Baba O'Reilly for like the first time or just any time. That song still fills me with joy. So I'd have to probably go with that. That would be my Running Up That Hill. The Running Up That Hill is a great song.
Oh, it's amazing. It's fantastic.
I was like, out of all the songs to choose, Kate Bush, like,
They literally had to go to Kate and was like, listen, like, this is a really emotional point. This is how your song's gonna be played. Because, like, she doesn't really give out her licenses easy to movies or TV shows. She's like, no, you don't get to use my song. But they were like, please, Kate, please.
They also like
can we
made it
please use
super
that?
orchestral and like made
They
it
did.
so much more like grandiose than the original recording. And there was something about that while watching it that like, because they played that song a couple times before that scene, and I was like, okay, I'm starting to get a little tired of that song. But when they added like the big orchestra part of it, it's like, all right, Dan, no, fuck it, this slaps. This is amazing.
Never mind, I'm back on that Kate Bush train.
It was like unrelated. I was worried it was gonna be. There's this like Korean show on Netflix called like Sweet Home, and they have it. It's like about a bunch of monsters, but they have they ran out of money for like licensing music, and they played the Warriors by Imagine Dragons 6 times in one season. It was their go-to badass moment song.
It's a
and it
banger
happened
song.
Oh my
multiple
gosh.
times.
That's a banger.
So, yeah,
Okay,
that's gonna
Imagine
be
Dragons.
Okay.
Yeah, Imagine Dragons gets too much hate, okay? There's
No,
such
I love
a
it.
These
Thunder.
nuts on your face.
Their first album was really good, and then everything since
Fell right into that one, Robin. This is a big L.
I hate you guys.
Mike's
I'm
got the
logging
first
off
one.
now.
Oh my god. I got my girlfriend with that because we were watching Arcane, right? Which is a fantastic show. And I was like, oh, the theme music. Who sings it again? I can't remember. And she was like, oh yeah, it's Imagine Dragons. And then I hit her with the Imagine Dragon these nuts on your face. and
had-
she
Fucking off.
would not speak to me for like 3
I hate
days.
you.
That's really
As she should. As she should.
I had
No.
I had one I tried to get on my friend group. And I'm talking to him. It's like, so you guys know that Kentucky's the only state that starts with the letter K? I mean, it's weird to think about. And then nothing.
I'm not.
And then nothing. It was like, really? Or nothing? And it's like, yeah, that's pretty weird actually. And they start making jokes about it. It's like, all right. So I tried 4 more times over the span of a month. And it just became an ongoing joke that Kentucky's the only state with a K in it. Until one day my buddy's like, oh shit, what about Kansas? He's like, and there's like, Kansas dick fit in your mouth? And I was so excited. I was elated. I had been fighting for a month to get them. They forgot Kansas was a fucking state. Like there was no
fair.
thought that
Imagine gaslighting your friends into saying Kansas doesn't exist just so you can hit them with the D's nuts joke.
yeah. A month of waiting for a D's nuts
Oh,
joke. And it was like, all right, well,
That's
Kansas
so
just
much
isn't a state
effort.
anymore.
To be
That's
to be
so
fair,
much effort.
Kansas's own city is mostly in Missouri.
That's fair.
Kansas City is mostly Missouri. It's
Yeah,
the
it is.
funniest thing about that.
If they
state.
say it's not a Kansas
it
is
is.
a deplorable state. Fuck Kansas. I'm here for all the
Oh my
Kansas.
God.
Oh,
I
I never said my song.
Yeah,
I think
No.
if
Hit
we're
it.
going 80s, it would have to be Never Gonna Give You Up. Because we're talking like break
Okay.
you out of a trance, right? I haven't
Yeah,
seen
yeah.
season 4. I'm only up to season 3.
That's
But
fair. I stopped at
if
2 and
we're-
I had to rewatch.
But like breaking out of a trance, as soon as you hear it, you know, like it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
I just
like,
got
oh my god.
rickrolled.
Oh my god.
That sounds
but
like
as far as like my favorite song that I would like recognize anywhere, probably like Scrawny by Wallows.
Mm,
Banger.
That's fair. That's fair. I was going with a good classic. Don't trust a hoe. 303, baby. What is there like?
The-
Oh yeah, 303.
what was metro station? Shake, shake,
Oh, Shake
shake, yeah.
Because it
Yeah.
does like this.
Oh my god,
That song
era of music.
unironically is great.
You know,
There's
like
a-
that era of music is like
Or,
fantastic.
what's the there's that like one song by I think it's like the New Radicals or whatever, and it's or Free Radicals or something like that, and it's don't give up, you got the music in. Yeah, that song.
Yeah.
That song is in,
Oh,
like, a
yeah.
lot of movies.
I hate that song.
Bro.
That song is great.
Bro,
That song.
who the fuck
I was like,
growled?
what the fuck is
Yeah,
going
sorry.
on?
My dog
Oh
would.
We're
my
listening to
God.
DMX.
Bro.
Her.
X gonna give it to you. That's my. No. I would for mine like if we're going 80s just because like the popularity of it and it's just genuinely a banger. Africa by Toto.
Okay.
Like,
Fair enough.
I do know every word, and that would be a great one. But if we're going for like overall favorite, I like my favorite band is Coheed and Cambria, and I think
Mm.
that would be like awesome battle music to have in the Upside Down. So I'm probably gonna do like Welcome Home, Coheed and Cambria, something. Yeah,
Fair
With
enough.
with a chainsaw in each hand, you know?
Evil Dead style.
Yeah.
Hail to the King.
Groovy.
Oh man. No, literally, like so I stopped at Stranger Things 2, and I forgot that I stopped at 2. Because to be fair, everyone says 2 is the worst season, which
It is.
it is. It really was bad. So I stopped. And I got a text from my friend that literally was like, have you seen season 4? And I was like, no. So in like 3 days, I was like cramming that show in. And season 4 is fantastic. It's the favorite season so far. But then I got to like episode 6, which there's 6 and 7. And he goes, oh, I haven't seen that one yet. I was
Do I
like,
need to-
you, no, but I was like, no, but I literally said, you begged me to watch the show and you haven't even finished
It made me
it.
rewatch the whole thing before you watched one season.
I was so mad. I was like, literally, because I was like texting him at all of these scenes, like, "Are you kidding me? Did this happen? Oh my god, what the fuck?" And then I get to this, he was like, "Oh yeah, don't tell me past this point because I haven't seen." So upset. I literally said, "I feel betrayed." I was betrayed.
I loved the first season genuinely, and then season 2 came out, and I hated it. I didn't even really want there to be a season 2 because I thought season 1 wrapped up really nicely.
It did.
Mm-hmm.
The only point where I saw the story going forward is like 11 coming back. That was it. But then like season 2 happened. I was like, okay, of course they're gonna do it, and they did it in the worst way possible. And
So bad.
There were
Well,
so many
'cause, like-
frustrating choices, and so like I kind of hate watched seasons 2 and 3, but I always watched them when it came out. But I was like, this is gonna suck, and I was always like super frustrated with it.
Well, right, because like Steve was never supposed to become a good guy. He was supposed to stay the asshole.
Yeah,
but
everyone
everyone
liked
liked
him.
Joe Keery so much, like on set and as a
Mhm.
character, that they invented Billy, like to fill his role, and then everything with Billy happened, and then
Yeah,
Mike Wheeler hasn't had anything to do since the first season.
I hate Mike.
which
I'll
I
say
think
it. Fuck
His
that
like
kid.
only
another
role
problem.
is boyfriend.
right, like that's like another problem with like
Okay.
ensemble shows is that like you have to give everybody a turn.
Mhm.
And it just so happens that everybody is a more interesting character than Mike.
Yeah. Well, to be
So-
fair, like when they pitched this show to Netflix, they had to write a 25-page like background on how it all worked. Like they like fully knew like everything that they wanted. Like they were probably like, this character unredeemable. He's an asshole.
So I think genuinely the like consistently best characters have been Dustin and Steve. Like
Oh yeah, that friendship is like the only like thing that I like. When we go to like a different character story, I'm like, no, go back. I want to see Steve and Dustin.
I'm a big Hopper fan too.
even like
That's fair.
when they're not even together, like usually Steve and Dustin are like stealing whatever scene they're in. Especially
100%.
Dustin. That kid is so fucking funny.
See, I
Like,
know who Hopper is because
yes.
Smite did a Battle Pass crossover with it, and he's a character in it. See, I know that.
It's
What
also
was,
funny
like, the
because
other
he is
show?
like Russian Captain America in Black Widow, and then he fights
He
the
is.
Russians in Stranger Things.
And now he's captured.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Should we have let's put a spoiler warning?
Yeah, editor.
Yeah, let's go ahead
editor
and say
Mark retroactively.
big spoiler
like
warning.
that, yeah.
We're also gonna need to put like a fake commercial break, which I could probably try to do. In that little-
Why
Have
don't
you guys
you hate
ever
when your
wondered
bot just
what it's
leaves?
like
Why
to
don't
have
we
a piss
put-
bandit in your dorm? Here's what you should do.
Do we still have
This
does anyone
this
still have
episode
the,
is literally just gonna be the piss bandit.
Yeah.
Band.
Oh, wait, really
What
quick,
was that?
everyone, give me a thumbnail face. Okay, perfect.
What does anyone still have their audio, their like radio commercials that Dave made us do for audio
I have
production?
one. I have mine
Yes.
still.
Yes.
We can
No,
throw
I didn't
those
do
in.
commercials.
Mine's for
We-
Arizona.
I have
those.
Punch.
several. Because I
There we go. There we
used to
go.
work at a radio station at my community college, so I
Oh,
did all of
shit.
them.
Let's go.
So I think in my hard drive somewhere, I don't know where it
I-
is, but I have so many.
I
I
have
did
like a
play
really
that
bad I have a really bad late night commercial that I made for BUTV once. It was because it was baseball horror themed, and I was like, this would be funny if we made a horror like movie trailer commercial. And it bad. But we could I could play that. Oh Lord.
But what was the what was like the other show that Netflix like ruined with the second? 13 Reasons Why was like another example of this show really.
never
The
seen the
second
second.
season, the second season was okay. The third season was
watched-
just like
I watched all of it.
the
only
third season was
reason-
just a murder mystery, and then the fourth season I didn't
Yeah.
even watch. I'm like, I don't even want to know what they're
No,
gonna.
I
do this
watched.
time.
I watched it, and I mean, I
It's
have a
okay to
hard
say you
time.
like it, Joe. It's
I
okay.
have a hard.
You can have an
okay,
opinion.
this is what I say. I have a hard time saying something sucks. Because I find redeeming qualities in everything. Like not everything's
I'm the
completely
same way
terrible.
sometimes.
I'm kind of
It's like
on that.
because it's like, listen, I put the time in. I want it to be okay. So there's like, all right, well that's a new plot hole. I'll answer it. Oh, they answered the plot hole, but there's 4 more now. Listen, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Half will get answered, maybe. They don't.
The only reason I watched season 1 was because Youngblood had a song in it, and I was a big fan of his. I've seen him in concert 3 times, and the lead singer of Wallows is like the main character. He's like, I think he's like Clay or something.
Yeah, Clay Jensen.
Yeah.
That's the lead singer of my other favorite band, Wallows. So that's the only reason I watched it, and I was like, "This is garbage."
Yeah, it was very underwhelming. Like the first season was
fair.
good. The second season was all right. Third season was okay. Fourth season again was just like, why? What? How did we get here?
I didn't realize there was a third or a fourth to this. I watched the first, and then all of the controversy came out surrounding it. I was like, ooh, maybe I won't watch this anymore. And so when the second came out, I think I watched 1 episode the second. I was like, I'm over it. Like, I don't need to keep watching this.
The second's the one with the school shooting guy, right? Like, or is
that was
what? That is so far off track.
What? No,
That
okay.
is so
I've never
far.
seen the show, but I remember specifically my high school guidance counselor. We were like 8th grade, which was like the first year of high school at my really weird school, or maybe my freshman year. But like our guidance counselor hijacked one of our gym periods to have us sit around in a circle and talk about the show because of its like content about suicide. And I never watched it because like I just out of spite was like, it's not like, one, it's getting like critic bomb, like it's not very well made from what I hear.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a good show. And then 2, it's just causing all this. Like I have no interest in it. But like I was just like, I hated how every adult was like, don't watch the show or you're gonna want to kill yourself too. And it's like, no, that like I have like obviously that's not gonna happen. And so like just
I only will because the show's so bad.
Yeah,
I need to like cut my eyes out after watching this.
This show is 12 of my 13. Get it out of here.
One more reason.
There's
Netflix,
one more.
and I'm done.
Hey, give me one more. Make one more season. Test.
And
I'm gone.
You know what's a really good Netflix show though? Umbrella Academy.
Oh, I have to see. I haven't finished the second season. I like watched most of it. Because I've like literally been so busy this last year. I've been catching up on everything. I just finished Queen's Gambit. Like when that came out, I didn't have time to watch it. I just finished it.
Netflix canceled one of their best shows after 1 season. It's the I Am Not Okay With This. That show is genuinely so good, and it had so much potential, and it ended on the biggest cliffhanger, and they had picked it up for a second season. But then COVID hit, and Netflix was like, actually, we don't want to do all the like COVID safety stuff. And the people who made the show were like, we can wait. They're like, no, canceled.
We're good.
Is that the one where like the kid who's a psychopath like runs away with the girl and they go like across the country?
No, but it is. So those 2 shows.
Oh, I'm thinking of The End of the Fucking World.
Yeah. That show was written. It's based on a comic book that was written by and the author that wrote that comic book wrote the comic book that I Am Not Okay With This was based on. So they were made by 2 different film teams, but the source materials from the same author.
Got it.
I mean, that's what Netflix that's their whole marketing scheme is to basically do 1 season and then be done with the project. And like, to be honest, I think
if it works.
I think it would have been okay if like, first off, they didn't cancel their like good shows, but then also like now they're going into the territory where they might do ads. oh, they're gonna up the price, and it's like, okay, but you don't have any good content anymore. Like, you don't have all of you didn't like keep going with the good show, so who's gonna deal with this?
Yeah.
So like, I don't know. Netflix is going off the rails.
The thing is, like, Netflix, like, they're kind of like falling apart, and it's not even entirely their fault because all of the content they used to just like lease and borrow is now being taken back by people who saw Netflix's success and was like, oh, we have our own content, let's just do it ourselves.
And we've looped back around to cable.
And like no one ever watched it on like The Office didn't get popular because people were looking it out. Like it was just on Netflix, and so no one's gonna pay for a whole other service just to watch it. It just
now
sucks.
I have the DVDs.
Yeah, like okay.
I have the special
back to the hard copies.
Come back full circle to hard copies.
I am kind of a physical media nut. Like
That's
so,
fair.
I like.
I'm down, Postman.
All the first thing I ever saved up to buy as a kid, I was like, I think like 7 or 8. I saved up to buy that box set over there, that Transformers box set. I was a kid, and I was like, I want to save up to buy the DVDs of this old 80s cartoon because it came in a cool box. That's
a good choice.
That's fair.
I
mean,
choice.
I have like all of the Marvel DVDs up until Black Widow. Like I
Does that have a DVD release yet?
It did. Yeah. It does. Okay. I think they've already released Spider-Man, to be honest with you. I didn't even get into like Marvel until probably like second Avengers is when I really started going to the theaters. And yeah, I tracked all of those down on Amazon. I was like, I'm buying you. It's so cool copies.
I've got. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I have a small collection of stuff, but it's mostly like my DVD collection is mostly like when my family all started like getting rid of their DVDs because of like streaming and shit. I was just like, I like this movie. I'm just gonna hold on to it because I still have, like, my PlayStation also works as a DVD player, so it's not like they're useless.
Yeah.
So like I just have a bunch of like random old stuff and not necessarily like big collections that like I've hunted out, and I like that because it's just like, what do I have? This random fucking Exorcist movie from 2003? Why not? Like, it's like a grab
might
bag.
as well.
I always had a consistent collection of movies I would bring with me on DVD to college, just because it's like, if they move streaming services, or if some of them aren't even on conventional streaming services. So Shaun of the Dead was one.
Banger, great movie.
Mr. Bean's Holiday was another.
Oh, that's a good one.
What was another one? I'm trying to look. Oh, Blazing Saddles was another.
That's a good one.
Yeah. I always brought that. And I think I also sometimes would bring like the Dirty Harry collection and also the Indiana Jones collection, just because like those would be like four movies each that I would have just consistently. So yeah, that's like the huge thing I'm into. Any show that I'm into or movie, like I try to find it at a local shop, but then I'll go to Amazon.
That's fair.
No, I've got a collection of DVDs and VHSs of the old Godzilla movies.
Oh man.
Yo.
Like the old school 80s, 90s Godzilla movies. There's like 35
soundtrack.
Oh, dude, all of them. Like there's a couple from like, I think one from 62, like the OG one. I've got that was my childhood, was watching all 30, at the time 33. Now it's up to like 35, 36. And it's
movies?
Yeah, movies.
Oh,
there's enough that there are different eras of Godzilla's.
You got nothing on this guy.
No.
And all the movies are just about this one giant lizard.
No, it's different. There's different eras based on the different directors, and each one has like its own like cinematic universe, and then it'll cut to a different one. So like
James Bond kind of.
Yeah, something like that. So it's like my go-to's the Shoujo era, and that's like around mid 90s, late 80s. and like it kicks off, and then there's these different monsters, and then he's got a kid, and then I could watch those movies. I've watched those movies for at least 15 years, and I'm gonna continue to keep watching these movies. I could talk for days about Godzilla.
Well, you'll have to save that for next episode because we're out of time.
Wow.
So, with that extremely clumsy segue,
What a fucking cliffhanger.
yeah, wow.
So,
Okay, Mark,
we are garnering
us up.
interest to
Next
stick
time
around
on
for our
Seas
second episode.
Degrees.
Yeah.
So,
We have to keep our viewership up.
exactly.
Gotta keep them
So,
wanting more.
Every other week.
Teaser.
Every other
Seas
week.
get degrees. I'm Mark.
I'm Robyn.
I'm Holden.
I'm Joe.
I'm Ryan.
And that's
That's
Craig, our
Craig.
lovely
And
bot.
Craig.
Bye,
And
Craig.
we
No,
will
he messed
see you
up today.
guys later.
Bye.
Craig.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Craig.
Bye-bye. See you later.
Bye,
Bye.
Craig.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Craig.
Bye, Craig.